Max Holloway weighed in on who he thinks Conor McGregor's next opponent is going to be. Have you guys seen this? Let me string this along a little bit, all right? Let me string this out. Max Holloway has said who he thinks Conor's next opponent is going to be. Fill in the blank. What do you think? I'm going to tell you the answer real fast. Did you hear it? Did you hear what Max said? Are you ready? Nobody. That's right. Max Holloway said, I don't think that Conor McGregor will ever fight again. Max then clarified that as to say, Conor's never promised us he would. Is Max right? Is that true? That's not how I remember it. But I can't remember specifically when Conor did promise he'd fight again. I remember when he called out right there in the ring, sitting down on the ground, talking to Joe Rogan before they brought the stretcher. I remember when he called that he wanted to fight Dustin Poirier. I know if you follow Conor on social media, every 7 days, he will call for a different opponent. I know that he spanned this over 2 different weight classes and 3 separate champions, because I'm throwing Volkanovski in there. Volkanovski called for a fight with Conor. Oliveira's begged for a fight with Conor. And Kamaru Usman said, yeah, what the hell, I'll do a fight with Conor. 3 different champions. Nobody more sought after. Nobody more discussed. Max Holloway, who has fought Conor, who's been a rumored opponent for Conor in some type of a rematch along the way. I would think, studies Conor very close. Max is saying that Conor has never clarified and never stated that he's ever going to come back. Is that right? What an interesting turn this would take. And almost like what a brilliant move. As I watch the master, which is McGregor, manipulate the fans' emotions and play with the media, if the big announcement for Conor's return turned out someday to be that he's not going to return. Like, do you know what an evil pleasure I would take in that? Do you know how happy that would make me for reasons that I couldn't explain? I'd have nothing to discuss over here. I talk about why did he drag us all along? Why was he in practice? Why was he rebuilding his body? Why was he calling all these guys out? But at the same time, I'd say, some bitch, he did it again. He did it again. I mean, right when you think you've got the answers, if anybody changes the questions, it's him. Now, I don't happen to think that Max is right, but I do think that if anybody has the right to an opinion, who can understand our industry, who can think like a fighter would think, and who could plan the move of a former opponent, I think Max is a great guy to turn to on the whereabouts of Conor McGregor. It's a very weird concept. Not to mention, what if Max didn't even mean it? What if that was Max's way of trying to get his name associated with Conor to try to get a rematch with Conor? I mean, not for nothing. You have to consider all of these things. If a guy is speaking and he's doing anything less than negotiating, he's a fool. I don't think Max is a fool.